What should be in a startup board meeting package? I've never understood why investors don't tell startup CEOs exactly what they want to see their portfolio companies present in a board meeting. Instead, startup CEOs are left to figure it out for themselves, which leads to lots of problems, including the board losing faith in the CEO. None of these problems are necessary. I've been a startup board director, and I've been a CEO presenting to boards. I've seen good board presentations, and I've seen really disastrous board presentations. The reality is that it's straightforward, providing your board of directors with exactly what they are looking for in a board package. In today's video, I'm going to explain to you what shouldn't be in your board package, the exact format you should use for your board package, the 3 keys, yes, there are 3, to having a successful board meeting. I hope you like it. Hi, I'm Brett. On my channel, I help early stage startup CEOs like you raise money and grow your startup. So if this sounds like you, then hit the subscribe button and the bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. Let's get started. What shouldn't be in a startup board package? Let me start with a story. Kevin is the founding CEO of a company doing about $10 million in revenue. They've just raised their latest round of funding. The company is hitting its goals, yet the board is frustrated with Kevin, and Kevin is frustrated with the board. In fact, Kevin is so frustrated that he told me he's thinking about quitting. Kevin told me, "I don't know what I'm doing wrong. We're hitting our numbers, but I know Fred is upset. He keeps asking us for more and more information, and the information I'm giving him doesn't seem to be helping matters. In fact, it seems to be making things worse." Kevin and I reviewed the last board package he provided. As I went through the slides, it became instantly apparent to me what was happening. Kevin was providing exactly the wrong information in the wrong format to Fred. No wonder Fred was upset. Kevin's mistakes are instructive to look at, so let's review them. Number 1, he was using graphs where you should be presenting numbers. There's nothing worse than when you present revenue and financial information in graphs. Yes, the graphs look pretty, but investors are by definition numbers people, and they want to see numbers. So show them the numbers, not a pretty graph. I'll get back to this later. Number 2, getting investors involved in things that they shouldn't be involved in. Years ago, I told one of my investors, Gil, that I was thinking of having a strategy session in our next board meeting. I'll never forget Gil's answer. He said to me, "You can do that if you'd like, but you might not be happy with the results." Gil was reminding me of an old truism about boards. Board members will give their opinion on anything that you ask them about. So don't ask your board about something unless you really want to hear their answer. Number 3, presenting partial information to your board. Back to Kevin. The board wanted to understand the return on investment, ROI, on Kevin's various marketing strategies. So Kevin provided them case studies to show that the strategies were working. Now, do you see the problem? Kevin wasn't answering the board's question. Case studies are great, but he needed to directly and simply answer the question and show the exact ROI that was being produced. The exact format you should use in a board of directors package. Let's start with the goal of a startup board meeting. The first goal is to present an update on what you've done versus what you said you were going to do. The second goal is giving your investors the ability to interact with your management team once you have a management team. Those are really the 2 goals of a startup board meeting. The goal is presenting this information in 2 hours or less. Remember, no investor likes going to board meetings. It's a necessary evil for them. So your job is to get in, get out, and get done. Now let's take a look at what your board package should look like. It will be in these 8 sections. Number 1, the CEO summary. Number 2, marketing. Number 3, sales. Number 4, the engineering status. Number 5, operation status. Number 6, financial status. Number 7, the executive board of directors private session. And number 8, the non-executive board of directors private session. Let me break each section down for you. The CEO summary. This will be your presentation to the board on the state of your company. You'll have the following sections to this. Highlights, and you want these to be up to 3 bullets on positive things happening in your company. Then the lowlights, because there are always lowlights in a startup, up to 3 bullets on negative things happening in a company. Now, these should never be things that are a surprise to your investors. I'll get back to this too. A market update, up to 3 bullets on what's going on in the market and M&A activity if there is any. You should be able to get through this section in 5 minutes. Business segment review. Then the executive in charge of each segment will review the progress being made in their segment. If there is no executive, then you'll present on it. Here's the boilerplate you should follow. Highlights, up to 3 bullets on the positive things happening in each segment. Lowlights, again, 3 bullets on the negative things happening in a segment. The goals you committed to in the last meeting and how you did versus these goals. Get the idea here. Here's what we said we're going to do. Here's how we did. What you're committing to do by the next meeting. And you can review those in the next meeting. Get the idea here. Very straightforward. Hiring versus plan. This is especially important for engineering because most startups are engineering driven. Any major programs or initiatives that are worthy of presentation to your board. Only high-level stuff here. Don't waste their time. A waterfall chart of the key metrics and adjustments you've made. In marketing, for example, this would likely be qualified leads to sales versus plan. In sales, this might be revenue versus plan. In finance, I used to do an OpEx or operational expense plan versus actual. Here's the waterfall, just so you see the format. Let me explain it to you because you should do this for all key measurements in your company. The top row in blue, that's your original plan. The gold diagonal, that's the actual performance. Then each row is the updated monthly forecast for the rest of the year. The numbers to the right of the gold are the updated OpEx plan. As you can see, we were below our spending each month and we didn't make any changes to the plan. For finance, you'll present an overview of the financials versus plan, usually in a simplified income statement format. Then you'll review the detailed financials for the year, the actual plan versus budget. When your team is done presenting each area of the company, you'll excuse your team and meet with the board alone. This is the private session. You'll review your cap table and get board approval on any employee stock option grants. The 8th segment is the non-executive session. What's that about? Well, you put this on the agenda just in case the board wants to talk about you without you being present. Doesn't sound like much fun. It's a formality, but it sends a good sign to your board. The 3 keys to having a successful board meeting. Let's get right to it. Key number 1, meet with each board member and investor one-on-one before the board meeting. You never want to surprise a board member with bad news in a board meeting. And there will be bad news because you're a startup and things will not go to plan. So here's what you do to solve the problem. You meet with the board members one-on-one before each meeting and review key information with the board and get any bad news such as missing your revenue forecast out. Oh, and make sure you have a plan for how you're going to fix any problem you have. Key number 2, rehearse with your team. Run through each presentation with your executive team before you send out the board package. You're doing this so you catch the mistakes before the meeting, not during the meeting. You want your team to look like a cohesive group when you're presenting. Rehearsing the meeting is well worth the time to do this. Key number 3, get in, get out, and get done. As I said earlier, your board would prefer to be anywhere but at a board meeting. So get right to business. Be efficient with your time and try and get done in less than 2 hours. That's your goal. Remember, the best way to have a successful 4-hour board meeting is to make it a 2-hour board meeting. It's an old joke. Now, if this content is resonating with you, then please hit the like button right now. Now, what did you learn from today's video? Put your answer in the comments column below today's video. And if you have any questions for me, put them in the comments column too, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Now, I have one more thing for you today. It's the free waterfall chart that I reviewed with you earlier. All you need to do to get your free waterfall chart is click the link below today's video and it's yours for free. And for more great content, click on the link at the end of today's video. And if you haven't already, then click the subscribe button to get more great content for startup CEOs. I'm Brett at brettjfox.com. Thanks for watching today. Take care. Bye.